All right, let's talk about how to make your website work for your firm. Let's face it, having a website that just looks pretty is not enough. Here are some surprising statistics that you need to keep in mind. Did you know that over 60% of traffic comes from mobile devices? That's right, more and more people are using their smartphones and tablets to browse the internet. If your website is not mobile friendly, you could be losing out on a significant portion of your audience. And here's another eye opener: 47% of users expect websites to load in 2 seconds or less. That means if your website takes too long to load, your potential clients will simply move on to your competitors. 57% of users won't recommend a business with a poorly designed website. Your website is the first impression that potential clients will have of your accounting firm, so it's essential to make it a good one. Your website is a reflection of your business, and if it looks outdated, confusing, or unprofessional, it can really turn off potential clients and damage your reputation. Here are the top reasons why visitors leave a site. Did you know that 84% of visitors will leave your site if it's not secure? That's right, people are becoming increasingly concerned about online security, and if your website doesn't have an SSL certificate, they might not trust you with their sensitive financial information. And make sure your website is secure by adding an SSL certificate to it. It's easy, cheap, and there's no reason not to have it. Secondly, slow speed is a big turnoff for visitors. In fact, 88.5% of visitors will leave your site if it takes too long to load. So that means you have only a few seconds to capture their attention before they move on to your competitors. To prevent this, optimize your website speed by compressing images, reducing the size of videos, and leveraging caching techniques. Bad navigation can cause 61.5% of visitors to leave your site. If your website is difficult to navigate, visitors will quickly become frustrated and leave. Make sure your website's navigation is intuitive and user-friendly, with a clear hierarchy of information and a consistent design across all pages. If you're still not convinced that your website needs to be optimized, consider this: 94% of people do not trust outdated websites. That means if your website looks like it was designed in the 90s, potential clients will not trust your accounting services. So, to build trust with your potential clients, you need to have a modern, up-to-date website. And here's another thing to keep in mind: it takes only 0.05 seconds for a visitor to form an opinion about your website. That means you have less than a second to make a good impression. If your website is slow to load, difficult to navigate, or looks outdated, potential clients will quickly move on to your competitors. I know that all of this information can seem a bit overwhelming. Let's narrow it down to the most important key elements that you can't afford to ignore. Let's break them down. Professional and clean design. Your website is like your online outfit, and you want to make sure it looks sharp and professional. Choose a color scheme, fonts, and images that are modern and consistent to create a website that looks clean and stylish. Fast loading speed, less than 3 seconds. Nobody has time to wait for a slow website to load. You need to make sure your site is lightning fast. That means compressing images, using a content delivery network, CDN, and doing everything you can to speed up your load time to less than 3 seconds. Call to actions. You need to make it super easy for potential clients to take the next step, whatever that may be. And that's why you need clear and compelling calls to action, CTAs, on your website. So, whether you want them to book a consultation, request a quote, or download a free guide, make sure your CTAs are easy to find. Everyone's on their phone these days, so your website needs to be mobile friendly. You don't want potential clients getting frustrated by a site that doesn't look or work well on their phone. Make sure your website has a responsive design that looks great on any screen size and a menu that works on mobile too. Finally, make sure your website is optimized for local search. Some of the key local optimization strategies are the following. Make sure your business name, address, and phone number are prominently displayed on your website. This information should match the information on your Google My Business listing and other local directories. And make sure your title tag, meta description, and URLs include your business name and your most relevant category of service. This is crucial because the title tag and the meta description appear in the search results. Include local keywords in your website's content, such as your city, neighborhood, or other location-specific terms. This will help Google understand where you're located and show your site to people who are searching for accounting services in your area. If your accounting firm has multiple locations, it will be a good idea to create separate pages for each location. This way, it will help your website show up in local search results for each location. Try adding a Google map of your business location or service area to your website. This creates an excellent customer experience for your website visitors. Also, you can embed a map into your footer if you're running only one location. Add it to your location pages in case you run more than one business location. If you received an impressive testimonial, add it to the top of your page so that everyone can see it. Also, try to add real names and photos of your reviewers. It will make it look more authentic and reliable. As a bonus, it also adds more relevant content to your website. Also, add your reviews to pages that matter. So your service pages, for example, will give you more trust when you add some reviews to them too. Another important factor to consider is to use local schema markup. Schema markup is a type of code that helps search engines better understand the content of your website. When it comes to local search, using schema markup can help search engines understand your business's location, contact information, and hours of operation. So, using schema markup for local businesses is known as local business schema, and it's an essential part of optimizing your website for local search. If you add this code to your website, you're telling search engines exactly where your business is located and how to display your information in search results. This can help your website stand out in search results and improve your visibility in local search. Website and URL structure are also important factors to consider when optimizing your accounting website for local search. And your website's structure should be organized and easy to navigate with clear headings, menus, and internal links. In terms of URL structure, make sure to include your city, neighborhood, or other location-specific terms in your website's URL. This will help Google understand the geographic relevance of your website and improve your chances of showing up in local search results. For example, instead of using a generic URL like services, use a more specific URL like Dallas Tax Services to indicate your location. Let me ask you, do you have an online booking feature on your website? If you do not, I am not surprised. For some reason, many accounting firms are hesitant to use automation tools for their websites, including online booking features. And overall, accounting firms are slow to adopt new technology compared to other professional services industries. According to Yokel's study, adding an online booking feature to your website can lead to a 26% increase in new customers. Plus, 70% of people prefer to book appointments online, as reported by Revenue Well. Also, appointments made online are 86% less likely to lead to a no-show. That means more appointments, less wasted time, and ultimately more revenue for your business. Now, I know some of you may be thinking that adding an online scheduling feature is too complicated or expensive, but let me assure you it's not. So I encourage you to consider adding an online booking feature to your website. It's a win-win situation for both you and your clients.